War Master Vorthak recovered from his surprise quickly. He had not conquered 1,000 worlds by being easily scared. Clever mammals, he broadcast to the human fleet. You show us pictures of your primitive world and think it will frighten us. We are Kralix. We have faced the horrors of 100 different worlds. But Captain Young Sik O, commanding the battlecruiser Iron Wolf, had spent years studying alien psychology. He knew that confidence was often just fear wearing a mask. Admiral, he said over the command channel, permission to show them what those pictures really mean. Granted, Captain O, Admiral Choi replied. The first real battle began when 3 Kralix destroyers moved to attack a Villani medical station that was trying to save wounded civilians. The station was defenseless, exactly the kind of target the Kralix liked. They had done this same attack thousands of times before. Lieutenant Commander Yoonji Cho was piloting an experimental human fighter when she saw the Kralix ships moving. Her small craft was fast and heavily armed, designed for the kind of close fighting that humans were good at. Control, requesting permission to intercept. You're outnumbered 3-1. Commander, her flight controller warned. Those are good odds for a human, Yoonji replied, and pushed her fighter to maximum speed. What happened next shocked both fleets. Yoonji's fighter moved through space like a hunting bird, twisting and diving between the Kralix ships with moves that should have been impossible. Her reaction time was faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. When they fired their weapons, she was already somewhere else. The Kralix had evolved from ambush predators who relied on size and strength. They expected their enemies to run in straight lines and make predictable moves. Yoonji fought like what she was, a pack hunter from a world where everything tried to kill everything else. Her first missile strike took out the engines of the lead Kralix destroyer. Her second attack disabled their weapons. By the time the other 2 ships realized what was happening, she was already behind them, moving too fast for their guns to track. Impossible, War Master Vorthak snarled as he watched the display. No single fighter can defeat 3 destroyers. You're thinking like prey, Admiral Choi responded calmly. We think like predators. The real shock came when the Kralix ships tried to ram Yoonji's fighter in desperation. She avoided them easily, but instead of running away, she turned and chased them. The sight of a tiny human fighter hunting massive alien warships sent a chill through the Kralix fleet. In their culture, smaller things ran from bigger things always. But the humans were just getting started. Master Sergeant Boram Sung had been waiting for her chance to test human boarding tactics against alien ships. When one of the damaged Kralix destroyers tried to retreat, she launched with her marine unit and fast attack shuttles. Remember your training, Boram told her squad as they approached the alien ship. We're not just soldiers. We're hunters. And right now, we're hunting. The Kralix had thick armor and powerful weapons, but they had never fought an enemy that worked as a team. Human Marines moved through the ship's corridors like a pack of wolves, covering each other and communicating with hand signals that the aliens couldn't understand. When the Kralix warriors tried to fight them one-on-one, they discovered that humans were stronger than they looked. Earth's heavy gravity had made human bones dense and human muscles powerful. When the aliens tried to fight in groups, they learned that humans had been practicing coordinated warfare for thousands of years. The boarding action lasted 20 minutes. When it was over, Boram's squad had captured an entire Kralix destroyer with very few casualties. More importantly, they had done something the Kralix thought was impossible. They had beaten Kralix warriors in hand-to-hand combat. Chief Medical Officer Kyung-ho treated the first human wounded and made a discovery that worried him. Private Kim Jae-sung had taken a blast from a Kralix energy weapon that should have killed him instantly. Instead, he was angry and asking when he could return to combat. Doctor, Jae-sung said as Kyung-ho worked on his wounds, that hurt, but I've had worse training accidents. When can I get back to my squad? Kyung-ho ran medical scans and couldn't believe what he saw. The human body's response to injury was unlike anything in the galactic medical databases. Adrenaline levels that should have caused heart failure were normal for humans in combat. Pain tolerance that would disable most species was just Tuesday for a human soldier. Admiral, Kyung-ho reported to the command staff, I think we need to understand something about human body functions. What we consider normal might be terrifying to other species. The battle continued as more Kralix ships joined the fight. War Master Vorthak deployed his heavy cruisers, expecting their superior firepower to quickly end the human threat. Instead, he watched in growing alarm as human ships worked together like a hunting pack. Captain Woojin Bayek of the stealth ship Shadow Dancer demonstrated another human advantage. His ship used stealth technology that worked on principles the Kralliks had never seen before. While their sensors looked for large objects moving in straight lines, Bak's ship moved like a submarine through the darkness, striking without warning and disappearing before the aliens could respond. "They're everywhere and nowhere," one Kralliks commander reported in panic. "How do we fight an enemy we cannot predict?" The turning point came when Colonel Haewon Ryu established communications with surviving Vellani military units. The gentle water beings had been trying to fight the Kralliks using defensive tactics, hiding behind barriers and hoping their enemies would go away. "That's not how you fight predators," Haewon explained to a Vellani commander named Deepcurrent. "Predators see defensive behavior as weakness. You have to attack them where they don't expect it." Under human guidance, the Vellani began using guerrilla warfare tactics for the first time in their history. They used their natural ability to hide to set up ambushes. They attacked Krallik supply lines and communication relays. Most importantly, they stopped acting like prey. War Master Vorthak watched his carefully planned attack falling apart. The humans fought like no enemy he had ever faced. They didn't retreat when they should. They didn't break when they were outnumbered. They actually seemed to enjoy the challenge of fighting superior numbers. "Retreat to minimum safe distance," he finally ordered. "We need to study these mammals before we can defeat them." But as the Kralliks fleet pulled back, they discovered something that chilled them to their crystal cores. The humans didn't celebrate their victory. They didn't demand surrender or negotiation. Instead, they began hunting the retreating Krallik ships, picking off stragglers and damaged vessels like wolves following a wounded herd. "Admiral," Captain Deho reported, "the aliens are retreating. Should we pursue?" "Oh yes," Admiral Choi replied with a smile that would have terrified any Kralliks who could see it. "They started this fight. We're going to finish it." For the first time in their 1,000-year history of conquest, the Kralliks were being hunted, and they didn't like it at all. The Kralliks invasion fleet came out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system, like a swarm of metal locusts. War Master Vorthak commanded over 300 ships, the largest military force the Kralliks had ever put together. He planned to break humanity's spirit by destroying their homeworld in front of the entire galaxy. "Behold the source of your arrogance, mammals," Vorthak broadcast toward Earth. "Your poisoned rock ends today. When your homeworld burns, every species in the galaxy will remember what happens to prey that forgets its place." Admiral Sang-Ho Kang, commanding Sol Defense Command from his orbital station above Earth, smiled grimly as he watched the alien fleet approach. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for 300 years, ever since they first looked at the stars and wondered what else might be out there. "Director Hong," he said calmly into his communicator, "activate the Sol defense grid." Director Yuri Hong sat in a command bunker deep beneath the Swiss Alps, her fingers hovering over controls that could unleash humanity's true military potential. For centuries, humans had been building weapons and fortifications throughout their solar system, hidden in asteroids and disguised as civilian installations. "Sol defense grid activating," she announced. "All stations, this is not a drill. We are weapons-free." What happened next shattered every assumption the Kralliks had about human military capability. The asteroid belt came alive with weapons fire as hidden bases revealed themselves. Massive railguns that had been disguised as mining equipment opened fire. Space stations that looked like research facilities deployed weapons that could crack moons. The planet Mars, which the Kralliks had dismissed as a dead rock, suddenly bristled with missile launchers and energy weapons. The gas giant Jupiter's moons revealed themselves to be military bases, their surfaces opening like flowers to expose weapon systems that defied Krallik's understanding of physics. "Impossible," War Master Vorthak snarled as his fleet came under fire from all directions. "This entire system is a fortress." Wing Commander Jae-Sung Park led the first wave of Earth's atmospheric fighters into space. These small, fast ships had been designed specifically for the kind of close-quarters combat that humans were good at. Unlike Krallik's pilots, who had evolved in low gravity, human pilots could handle accelerations that would kill most alien species. "Remember your training," Jae-Sung told his squadron as they accelerated toward the alien fleet. "These bugs think they can come to our home and threaten our families. Let's show them what happens when you poke a hornet's nest." The human fighters moved through space like schools of deadly fish, weaving between Kralix ships and striking at weak points with precision that seemed impossible. The aliens found themselves unable to track targets that moved in 3 dimensions with the fluid grace of creatures born in Earth's heavy gravity. But the real shock came when War Master Vorthak attempted to deploy ground forces on Earth itself. General Insu Kim, commanding planetary defense, watched the Kralix dropships descend through Earth's atmosphere and felt nothing but pity for the aliens inside. "Poor bastards," he muttered to his staff. "They have no idea what they're flying into." The Kralix had fought on hundreds of different worlds, but they had never fought on a death world. Earth's gravity was crushing to beings evolved in lighter environments. The atmosphere, which humans breathed easily, was toxic to most alien body systems. Even the planet's weather was hostile. Storms that humans considered normal were devastating to creatures from gentler worlds. But worse than the environment were the defenders. Every human civilian on Earth had received basic military training. Children learned to shoot and fight before they learned to drive. Grandmothers could field strip assault rifles in the dark. The entire planet was defended by a population that had been shaped by millions of years of survival on the galaxy's most dangerous world. Captain Sujin, Han of the heavy battleship Earth's Fury, found herself facing War Master Vorthak's flagship in direct combat. The Kralix ship was larger and more heavily armed, but Han had something the alien commander lacked: the willingness to do whatever it took to protect her home. "Engineering," she called to her chief engineer. "How long until the reactor overloads?" "2 minutes, Captain," came the reply. "Are you sure about this?" "I'm sure," Han said calmly. "All hands abandon ship. I'm taking us in alone." The Earth's Fury accelerated toward the Kralix flagship like a missile, its engines pushed far beyond safe limits. War Master Vorthak watched the human ship approach and felt something he had never experienced before: fear. The humans weren't just willing to die for their cause. They were eager to take their enemies with them. The collision destroyed both ships in a ball of nuclear fire that lit up Earth's sky like a second sun. But the psychological impact was far greater than the physical damage. Across the battlefield, Kralix crews watched in horror as a human captain chose death rather than defeat. "They're insane," one Kralix commander reported over the communication channels. "The mammals are willing to die just to hurt us. How do we fight an enemy that doesn't fear death?" The battle raged for 6 hours as the largest invasion fleet in Kralix history was systematically destroyed by Earth's defenses. Human ships that were damaged beyond repair turned themselves into guided missiles. Soldiers who ran out of ammunition continued fighting with their bare hands. Civilians took up arms and fought alongside trained military units. Ambassador Mi Kyung-shin, watching the battle from her diplomatic post on Luna, recorded everything for transmission to the galaxy. She wanted every species to see what happened when predators tried to attack the ultimate predators on their home ground. "Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks humanity is weak," she broadcast across galactic communication networks. "We didn't climb to the top of our world's food chain by being gentle. We did it by being more dangerous than anything that tried to eat us." As the last Kralix ships fled or were destroyed, War Master Vorthak found himself trapped on Earth's surface. His command ship crashed in what humans called the Amazon rainforest. The jungle that surrounded him was more alien and hostile than any world he had ever conquered. General Insu Kim led the search team that found the Kralix commander 3 days later. Vorthak was delirious from exposure to Earth's environment. His crystal shell cracked from the humidity and pressure. He looked up at the human general with eyes that held no arrogance, only broken understanding. "Your world," he whispered in his grinding voice. "It's not just a death world. It's hell." "No," General Kim replied quietly. "Hell is what we bring to anyone who threatens our home." The Battle of Earth was over, but its effects would reshape the galaxy. For the first time in their history, the Kralix Empire had been decisively defeated. More importantly, every species in the galaxy had watched it happen. The humans had proven that the Kralix could be beaten, and they had shown how to do it. President Changmin-Ro addressed the galaxy from the ruins of the Kralix flagship that had crashed in Earth's Pacific Ocean. Behind him, human engineers were already stripping the alien ship for useful technology while marine biologists studied how Earth's ocean life was adapting to eat the alien metal. "This is what happens when prey decides to hunt back," he announced, to a galaxy that was listening with new respect. The Kralix Empire built their power on fear. Today, They learned what fear really means. As rescue ships arrived to collect Kralix survivors, many of the alien soldiers asked the same question that War Master Vorthak had asked: how do you fight an enemy that doesn't fear death? The answer was simple, though most of the galaxy didn't understand it yet. You can't fight humans the way you fight other species. Humans had evolved on a world where everything tried to kill them, and they had not only survived but thrived. They had become the apex predators of the ultimate hunting ground. The Kralix Empire was about to collapse, but something new was being born in its place. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when Deathworlders decided to share their knowledge with everyone who was willing to learn how to survive. News of the human victory spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. For the first time in 1,000 years, someone had not just survived a Kralix attack, they had fought back and won. In the dark corners of conquered worlds, species that had given up hope began to whisper about the Deathworld warriors who refused to kneel. War Master Vorthak retreated to the Kralix stronghold world of Nexus Prime, his pride wounded and his confidence shaken. He had never faced an enemy like the humans. When he reported to the Kralix High Command, the insect-like rulers struggled to understand what had happened. "Explain to us how mammals from a poisoned rock defeated our finest warriors," hissed Supreme Commander Razak, his crystal eyes blazing with anger. "They fight like no species we have met," Vorthak admitted reluctantly. "They show no fear. They work together like a hive mind, but each warrior thinks independently. When we hurt them, they become more dangerous, not less." Meanwhile, Captain Wu Jin Bayak was proving just how dangerous humans could be when they decided to hunt. His stealth ship Shadow Dancer had been upgraded with captured Kralix technology, making it nearly invisible to enemy sensors. For the past 3 weeks, he had been deep in Kralix territory, gathering intelligence and causing havoc. "Target acquired," reported his tactical officer, Lieutenant So Jin Park, as they approached a Kralix supply convoy. 12 cargo ships, 4 escorts. Standard formation. Wu Jin studied the tactical display. The convoy was carrying weapons and supplies to Kralix forces attacking another Villani world. Destroying it would save thousands of alien lives. Attack pattern Alpha. Hit the escorts first, then the cargo ships. Let's show them what happens when predators go hunting. The Shadow Dancer struck like a ghost in the darkness. Kralix sensors detected the explosions but couldn't find the source. To the alien crews, it seemed like their ships were simply exploding for no reason. The psychological effect was devastating. How do you fight an enemy you can't see? Back at the Villani homeworld, Colonel Heiwan Ryu was revolutionizing alien military thinking. She had set up the first joint training facility, where humans taught other species how to fight like predators instead of prey. "Forget everything you know about warfare," she told a group of Villani volunteers. "Your people have been thinking defensively for millions of years. That's why the Kralix are winning. Predators don't respect defensive thinking. They see it as weakness." Deep Current, the Villani commander, raised one of his crystal arms. "But Colonel, we are not naturally aggressive. Our entire culture is built on cooperation and peace." "Peace is a luxury you earn by being strong enough to defend it," Heiwan replied. "The Kralix understand strength. Right now they think you're weak because you won't fight back. We're going to change that." The training was unlike anything the Villani had ever experienced. Humans taught them to think like pack hunters, to work together while maintaining individual initiative. They learned to use their natural hiding abilities for ambush tactics. Most importantly, they learned that sometimes violence was the only answer to violence. Intelligence Officer Jihai Moon was making discoveries that would change how the galaxy understood itself. Working with captured Kralix data and testimonies from rescued alien civilians, she was mapping the true structure of galactic civilization. "Admiral," she reported to Admiral Choi during a briefing, "I think we've been looking at this wrong. The Kralix aren't just another aggressive species. They're filling a specific role in galactic evolution." "What do you mean?" Admiral Choi asked. "Most species in the galaxy evolved on garden worlds, places with gentle weather, abundant food, and no serious predators. They never had to develop military thinking or survival instincts. The Kralix evolved differently. They became the galaxy's apex predators." Dr. Hyo Jung-nam added her own findings. "It's worse than that, Admiral. I've been studying the evolutionary patterns of conquered species. They're designed to be prey. Passive, cooperative, non-aggressive. The galaxy has been running on a predator-prey relationship for millions of years. Until now," Admiral Choi realized. We're the first prey species that learned to hunt back. The implications were staggering. Humanity represented something completely new in galactic civilization, a species that had evolved all the survival skills of a predator while maintaining the intelligence and cooperation of a prey species. Commander Dong Hyun, Hugh was putting that intelligence to work developing new weapon systems. The Kralix had superior technology in many areas, but they had never faced human creativity applied to warfare. Working with captured alien tech and human engineering principles, his team was creating weapons the Kralix couldn't imagine. "The kinetic bombardment system is ready for testing, Admiral," he reported. "We've figured out how to use gravity slingshots to accelerate asteroids to near light speed. Even Kralix shields can't stop that much kinetic energy." But the Kralix weren't helpless. War Master Vorthak had been studying human tactics and developing counters. If these mammals wanted to hunt, he would give them prey that fought back. "Deploy the planet crackers," he ordered his fleet commanders. "If we cannot break their will through conventional warfare, we will threaten their breeding worlds. Let's see how brave these humans are when their home planets are at risk." The planet crackers were massive weapons designed to shatter worlds from orbit. They had been used to destroy dozens of rebellious planets over the centuries. The mere threat of them was usually enough to make entire species surrender. But the Kralix had made a fundamental error. They thought humans would react like other galactic species, with fear and submission. Instead, the human response was immediate and savage. "They want to threaten Earth?" Admiral Choi said when she received the intelligence reports. "Then we'll show them what Earth's children are capable of." Operation Wolfpack began within hours. Every human ship in the galaxy received the same orders. Hunt down and destroy every Kralix vessel they could find. No longer would they fight defensively or wait for the enemy to make the first move. The humans were going on the offensive. Captain Taemin Seo led a squadron of destroyers in a raid on a Kralix shipyard. Captain Young Sik Oh took the Iron Wolf deep into enemy territory to attack their communication networks. Across the galaxy, human ships struck like lightning, appearing without warning and disappearing before the Kralix could respond. The psychological effect on the Kralix Empire was devastating. For 1,000 years they had been the hunters. Now they were being hunted by an enemy that seemed to be everywhere at once. Rebellions began breaking out on conquered worlds. Species that had been slaves for generations suddenly remembered what freedom felt like. The Villani, inspired by human training, launched guerrilla attacks on Kralix occupation forces. Other species followed their example. "The Empire is fracturing," War Master Vorthak reported to the High Command. 17 worlds have declared independence. Our forces are being attacked on dozens of fronts. These humans have taught the galaxy how to fight back. Supreme Commander Razak's crystal features twisted with rage. "Then we will destroy their homeworld and break their spirit. Prepare the full invasion fleet. We will show these mammals what happens when prey forgets its place." But as the Kralix prepared for their assault on Earth, they didn't realize they were about to attack the most heavily defended world in the galaxy. Humanity had spent 3 centuries preparing for this moment. Earth wasn't just a planet. It was a fortress world defended by the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever produced. The Kralix were about to learn why humans called their homeworld a death world. The human fleet arrived to find hell in space. Burning space stations floated like broken toys among the pieces of what had once been a living civilization. The Kralix fleet hung around the Villani homeworld like hungry wolves, their black ships firing down at the planet's cities. But worse than the destruction was the sound. "Turn off those speakers," Admiral Subin Choi ordered, her face pale. The Kralix were broadcasting the screams and cries of dying Villani across every communication channel. It was mind warfare designed to break the spirit of anyone who heard it. Communications officer So Young Yoon worked hard at her station. "Admiral, I'm detecting 43 Kralix ships. They're huge. Some of them are 3 times bigger than our largest ships." Captain Taemin Seo of the destroyer Lightning's Edge studied the battle display. The Kralix ships looked like insects made of black metal, with long spines and glowing red lights. They moved through space with grace that suggested they were very good at what they did. "They're not even trying to hide," observed Captain Daeho Kim. "They want us to see what they're doing." Dr. Hyojung Nam was busy trying to contact any surviving Villani when her console lit up with an incoming message. The image that appeared on screen made everyone on the bridge stop and stare. The creature looked like a jellyfish made of living crystal. Its clear body pulsed with colored lights that flashed in complex patterns. When it spoke, the words came through their translation computer in a voice that sounded like wind chimes. "Unknown ships, you must run," the alien said, its lights flashing quickly. "The Void Hunters will destroy you as they have destroyed us. You cannot fight them. No one can fight them." Admiral Choi stepped forward. "This is Admiral Subin Choi of the Human Defense Fleet. We got your distress call. We're here to help." The Volani's lights dimmed with what looked like shock. "Humans? That is impossible. Humans are myth. Stories told to scare children." The alien's voice grew more upset. "The council records say your world is a Class 12 death world. Nothing can live there. Nothing can survive there." Dr. Nam leaned closer to her microphone. "I'm Dr. Hyojung Nam. What do you mean by death world?" The Volani commander, who called himself Shimmerwave, seemed to struggle with the idea. "Your planet. The gravity is more than twice what most species can survive. Your air would poison us in minutes. Your weather systems can destroy cities. Your oceans are filled with creatures that hunt and kill." His lights flashed in patterns that the computer said meant distress. "The records say Earth should have killed any life that tried to grow there billions of years ago." Around the bridge, the human officers looked at each other. They had never thought of Earth as particularly dangerous. It was just home. "How many species live on death worlds?" Admiral Choi asked. "None," Shimmerwave replied right away. "You would be the first. Most species evolved on garden worlds, places with gentle weather, peaceful creatures, and stable environments. The idea that an entire species could survive on a world like yours? It was considered impossible." Captain Seo interrupted the conversation as his sensors detected movement. "Admiral, the Kraliks have noticed us. 3 of their ships are moving toward us. The Kralik ships approached slowly, their hulls covered with weapons. When they came close enough to communicate, a harsh voice cut through their transmission equipment. The speaker sounded like metal grinding against stone. "Primitive mammals in crude metal shells," the Kralix commander said. "You have entered the domain of War Master Vorthak. Surrender your ships and prepare to witness the art of conquest." So Young intercepted other Kralix transmissions and quickly translated them. "Admiral, they're calling us soft meat and easy prey. Their databases list Earth as an uninhabitable hell world. They think we're some kind of mistake." War Master Vorthak's image appeared on their screens. He looked like a giant insect with a crystal shell and eyes like burning coals. "You amuse me, mammals. Your ships are small and weak. Your world is a poisoned rock that should have killed you. Yet here you are, playing at being warriors." Admiral Choi's voice was calm when she replied. "War Master, we're here to stop your attack on the Volani. Pull back your forces and we'll consider letting you leave." The sound that came from Vorthak might have been laughter. "You think you can threaten the Kralix Dominion? We have conquered 1,000 worlds. We have broken civilizations that had forgotten how to count their victories." His insect features twisted into what might have been a smile. "But you entertain me. I will destroy your fleet slowly, so the galaxy can watch mammals learn their place." As the Kralik ships moved into attack formation, Shimmerwave's panicked voice cut through the communications. "Humans, you must run! The Kraliks have destroyed species far more advanced than yours. They have weapons that can crack planets. They have warriors who know no fear." Captain Kim looked at his tactical display and smiled grimly. "Shimmerwave, have the Kraliks ever fought a species that evolved on a death world?" "No," the Volani admitted. "Most species cannot even imagine such a thing." "Then they're about to get an education," Admiral Choi said. She opened a channel to the entire human fleet. "All ships prepare for battle. Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. And remember, we didn't climb to the top of Earth's food chain by being gentle." Dr. Nam continued studying the Volani body data while the fleet prepared for battle. "Admiral, I'm starting to understand something important. These Volani, and probably most galactic species, evolved without predators. They've never had to fight for survival. They don't understand ideas like pack hunting or defending territory." Minho Jiang, studying the tactical situation, added his observations. "The Kralik strategy relies on mind warfare because most species break mentally before they break physically. They've never met a species that evolved with predators. What does that mean for us?" Admiral Choi asked. "It means we're about to show them what real predators look like," Captain Deho replied. The Kralix fleet began its attack with their standard fear tactics. They fired warning shots past the human ships and broadcast graphic footage of their previous conquests. Images of burning worlds and dying civilians filled the communication channels. But instead of the fear they expected, the humans responded with something the Kralix had never seen before. So Young activated Operation Berserker's reply, humanity's answer to mind warfare. Every screen in the Kralix fleet was suddenly filled with images from Earth. Lions hunting in coordinated packs, humans surviving in frozen wastelands and burning deserts, hurricanes that could level cities and the humans who rebuilt after them, warriors from human history who had fought against impossible odds and won. This is what a death world creates, Admiral Choi broadcast to the Kralix fleet. This is what we are. For the first time in their history, the Kralix hesitated. Captain Dae-ho Kim sat in his chair on the bridge of the warship Thunderstrike. The ship was big and powerful, with thick armor and many weapons. For 6 months, his crew had been flying through empty space looking for new worlds and signs of life. They had found nothing but rocks and dead planets. "Captain," called Commander Hana Park from her station. Her voice sounded strange and worried. "I'm getting something weird on the long-range sensors." Dae-ho looked up from his reports. "What kind of weird?" Hana worked at her controls, trying to make the signal clearer. "It's not natural, sir. Someone made this signal, and it's coming from outside our solar system." She stopped and stared at her screen. "Captain, I think someone is asking for help." Everyone on the bridge went quiet. For 300 years, humans had been looking for aliens. They had built huge radio dishes and sent messages to the stars. They had explored many star systems but found nothing. Until now. "Put it on speakers," Dae-ho said. Strange music filled the bridge. It was beautiful but alien, with sounds that went up and down like a song. But mixed with the music were other sounds that made everyone scared. Explosions, screaming, the sound of weapons firing. Chief Engineer Jin-Woo Lee ran his hands through his hair. "That's a battle, sir. Someone is fighting for their lives." Hana worked hard at her station, using the ship's computer to understand the alien language. "I'm getting pieces of it, Captain. The computer is starting to figure out patterns." She looked up with excitement and fear. "Sir, they're definitely asking for help." Dae-ho felt his heart beat faster. First contact with aliens and they were dying. "Can you find where it's coming from?" "Already working on it," Jin-Woo said from his station. "The signal comes from a star system 47 light-years away. It has a sun like ours and several planets. If we push our engines hard, we could get there in 2 weeks." "That's not our decision to make," Dae-ho said, even though he wanted to help. "Send everything to Earth Command. Make it top priority." The next few hours were busy. Hana worked with the computer to decode more of the alien message. Slowly, they learned more about the aliens. They called themselves the Villani Confederacy. They were peaceful traders made up of 3 different alien species. For a year, they had been attacked by something called the Kralix Dominion. "They call themselves soft-shell beings," Hana translated, looking more worried with each word. "The attackers are void hunters who eat entire worlds." "Captain, these Villani sound terrified. They're talking about whole species being wiped out." The message from Earth Command came 12 hours later. Admiral Subin Choi appeared on the main screen. Her face was serious but determined. "Captain Kim, your crew has just made the most important discovery in human history," the Admiral said. "But these aliens aren't just calling for help, they're dying. The President has authorized Operation Guardian Angel. We're sending every ship we have." Dae-ho felt cold. "Every ship, Admiral?" 200 warships, Captain. The biggest fleet humanity has ever put together. We've been getting ready for hostile alien contact for centuries. Now we get to find out what the galaxy thinks of a species that grew up on Earth. Over the next week, ships came from all over human space. Battleships, carriers, destroyers, and support ships gathered at the meeting point. Dae-ho had never seen so much military power in one place. The fleet was commanded by Admiral Subin Choi herself, on the huge dreadnought Earth's Hammer. Min-ho Jang, Dae-ho's strategy advisor, spent hours studying what little they knew about the Kralix attackers. "From what the Villani are telling us, the Kralix don't just want to win wars," he explained during a meeting. "They want to completely break their enemies. They destroy civilization slowly, broadcasting the deaths to other worlds as a warning. Mind games." Dae-ho nodded. "They want to win through fear." "That's what they've done to dozens of species," Min-ho continued. "But Captain, they've never met humans before. They don't know what we can do." The human fleet jumped to faster-than-light travel, racing across the galaxy toward a war they knew nothing about. In the cramped rooms of the ships, soldiers and sailors got ready for battle. They cleaned their weapons, checked their armor, and tried not to think about fighting enemies they had never seen. Dr. Hyojung Nam, the fleet's chief scientist, spent the trip studying everything about the Villani. They're water creatures, she told the command staff. They live in underwater cities and talk by flashing lights on their skin. From what I can tell, they've never fought a war in their entire history. What about these Kralliks? Admiral Choi asked. Unknown, Admiral. The Villani are too scared to give us clear descriptions. All we know is that they're aggressive, have advanced technology, and have been conquering worlds for thousands of years. As they traveled through space, the distress signals from the Villani got weaker. Some star systems went completely silent. Whatever these Kralliks were doing, they were doing it fast. We need to hurry, Hana said during one of their daily meetings. I'm only getting signals from 3 Villani worlds now. Yesterday it was 7. Captain Deho stood on the bridge of his ship and looked out at the human fleet around him. 200 warships filled with the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever produced, though they didn't know it yet. Humans had evolved on a world where everything tried to kill them. They had survived ice ages, diseases, wars, and disasters that would have destroyed most species. Now they were about to meet aliens who thought conquest was easy. The Kralliks were about to learn what happened when predators met prey in the darkness between stars. All ships get ready for arrival, Admiral Choi's voice came over the communications. Remember, we're not just representing humanity today. We're representing every species that refuses to bow to bullies. The fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Villani home system. What they found there would change the galaxy forever.